Hello, everyone, and welcome to Earth Connection for Infinite Abundance. Really excited to be sharing this information with you guys tonight. Something that's been coming through quite a lot recently. Many people are in this pursuit of abundance, and many people seek kind of these external strategies and techniques and overlook the most profound source of abundance that lies within us, and that's our connection to the earth. So that's what we're going to be looking at tonight, this symbiotic relationship that exists between us and our planet. So we're unlocking the secret to infinite abundance through our earth connection. Someone said, I'm listening as I get ready for work, so I'll have my camera off. No problem at all. That's absolutely fine. You've got such a beautiful image on your thing. That's great. So it's beautiful that your image is a vision you saw in a meditation. So when we think about, first of all, what is infinite abundance? What does that mean to you guys? I'd like you to type it in the chat. What is infinite abundance? What do those words bring up in your being when you hear that? What do you think of when you hear those words, infinite abundance? What does that resonate to you? Where do you feel it? What does it look like? So if you want to type that in the chat, someone says, unlimited potential, no lack. Amazing, beautiful. Anyone else want to share what infinite abundance means to them? I see some of you busy typing away. Because what's really important is that we get clear on what this means, what this infinite abundance actually is. Because without knowing what it means to us, it's very hard to connect into that energy. So this is a really important part. What does it mean for you, that infinite abundance? So whilst you guys are typing, I'm going to keep talking a little bit, and then hopefully we'll have some shares. Someone said, a forever giving and growing earth. Beautiful. It's so hard to describe, but a feeling of safety, everything always available to us without fear and lack. Beautiful. That's the thing, isn't it? That's so hard sometimes. We can be in a space of openness, and then that fear and lack comes in, and we lock up. We get into this sense of restriction. And this for me, this hand is such an important thing. If you are in a space of openness and abundance and giving, your hand is open. So you're open to receive. But if you lock into that lack, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Oh, energy crisis. Oh, food shortage. Oh, whatever it may be that's being rolled out to us, then what happens is this beautiful open hand. Now, if we have a clenched fist, if we're like this, can I give you anything? And can I receive anything? No. So this is so important when we look at what is infinite abundance. If we stay in this open, heart open space, in this deep connection, and we're going to be getting into what this actually means in a minute, then our hands are open to receive. But as soon as that fear and that lack come in, and you've all mentioned, or most of you, never feeling lack of anything, there's this lack side of things that closes us, doesn't it? Can you feel that? What happens in your body? I just want you to take a moment to feel into your body when you hear the word lack. What happens to your body? Where do you feel that? Does it restrict? Do you feel a tightening? You might not. But if you do, where do you feel that in your body? So for those of you who just joined, we're writing in the chat what infinite abundance means to us. Tightness in the chest, feeling restricted in my root chakra. Yeah, so we've got chest and root chakra at the moment. Center, in your center core. Yeah. So we've got the root, we've got the kind of center, maybe the solar plexus, do you mean kind of with the, yeah, chest. Okay, so we've got a couple of chests. We've got this root energy. We've got this core in the heart. So when we have this feeling of lack, we shut down. The first place generally that shuts down is our root and our heart, and then the other chakras, because what happens is our root chakra, so our base, is, guess what? Guess where our base is connecting us to? The earth. Okay. So when we do not feel safe, what happens is we shut off our base chakra. I'm not safe. I'm not stable. We shut off that base, which actually is counterintuitive, as so often these things are, because what we should be doing is anchoring further into the earth at that point. But we don't, because we go, I'm not safe. And so we shut off. Our heart is the space of love and that giving. So when we're open and we're in that space of love and giving, what happens is our heart is open. You know, when you think about giving, it's this beautiful open gesture, isn't it? Oh, hello, you see an old friend, you put your arms out to embrace them. Now, if you don't feel safe, if you feel that lack, what you do is you cave in. And as you cave in, your shoulders round, your heart gets restricted. And also, the next point that gets restricted is right here, because we cave in on our solar plexus, our center of self-worth. So when we're looking at this infinite abundance, and for those of you who've just joined, we're writing in the chat what infinite abundance means to us. And we're also writing where we feel lack in our body. So when we are tapping into this openness, our whole body responds physically. So there's a very interesting thing that we can do, a very, very simple thing. Most of the best things are simple, aren't they, in life? We overcomplicate things so often. But if we're feeling like we're going into lack, if we're feeling that fear coming over us, we can actually fake the opposite. So we can fake that we feel open by keeping our shoulders back, by opening our heart, by making sure our solar plexus is up, making sure that we're lifting our spine up so we have an ability to have an energy current flowing through us. We can sit down by a tree, we can feel our roots going in. So what we're doing is we're countering what our body wants to do, because this feeling of fear and lack is coming in. So this is one very simple thing we can start to do to step into that position of abundance. You don't generally see really abundant people. Now, I'm not just talking about physical, like material abundance, but abundant people. When we're abundant in life, it's about friendship, it's about food, it's about joy, it's about material wealth as well. That's an aspect of it, but so often we all just instantly go abundance is physical wealth, but that's definitely an aspect. And so often in the spiritual world we shy away from this material abundance because it's evil, it's wrong, we shouldn't be going there. But actually money is an energy, and so this is a really important thing to come into alignment with as well, is that money is energy. It's an exchange for services. So actually, money is not the root of all evil. You know, we've all got these programmings which restrict our physical material abundance as well. Someone just wrote, infinite abundance to me means smooth flow in life with everything. Exactly. It's that flow. That's what infinite abundance is. It's being in that flow. So if we want to line up into our flow, one of the first things we need to do is step into the fact that we are part of this earth. So infinite abundance is not a distant dream, but a real tangible reality that I believe is achieved through a conscious and respectful connection to the earth. It's that conscious remembering that we're part of this beautiful, beautiful earth. So when we tap into that earth connection, it's really this key for unlocking boundless wealth that our planet has to offer us, and wealth in all aspects, not just material wealth. So it's wealth in creating and cultivating harmonious relationships with people. It's wealth in creating that food network so we have beautiful food around us. For me, a big part of my abundance is being able to know that in my garden growing, I have medicinal herbs so I can make remedies for things I need. That is a huge part of my abundance. When I look outside and I go, I've got mugwort growing, I've got wormwood growing, I've got, all of these different herbs. I've got my oregano, I've got my thyme, I've got my basil, I've got my sage, I've got medicine. That for me is the biggest form of abundance ever, because I know I can look after myself, my friends, and my family. And for me, there's nothing more important than that. And I can, through most of the year, go out into my garden and get some food. Obviously, less food in the winter, but I can get something. Abundance to me is knowing that I can go out and forage in my local environment. I don't have to go that far, and I can find food throughout the year. That is true abundance to me. Abundance is knowing that I can turn on a tap, and yes, I run it through a filter, but that I've got clean water. I've traveled around the world and I've been to places where you can't turn on a tap and have clean water. So that is abundance. So it's one of the things that is so important when we look at abundance is going, what do you have in your life right now that you are abundant in? And I'd like you to take a moment just to write that in the chat. What in your life right now is really abundant? Where have you got huge amounts of abundance in your life? You may not have any, and that's okay, but actually start thinking, and most of us are abundant in certain areas. Most of us can find something that we go, yeah, actually, I'm abundant in friends, or I'm abundant in cuddles from my dog, or, whatever it may be. So I'd love to hear where you are abundant right now. Love and friendship, someone said, beautiful. Where else? Supporting women around me, beautiful. Family and education, lovely. Close friends and nature in my back garden, lovely. Yeah, nature is such a magical one for me. That is, and we're all different, but for me that nature bit is the most. Oh, someone said they can't hear me. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone else hear me? Ah, I'm not sure why someone can't hear me. You can't hear me, everyone else can. Someone said affection and love from partner, family, and friends. Beautiful. So when we're looking at this earth connection, this is for me the missing part that most of us don't tune into, that most of us haven't been brought up to think about. And there's that old saying, the deeper your roots go, the higher your branches can reach out. And I want you to think about that for a moment, that analogy of the tree. Because we are like this tree. And if our roots go deep into the earth, it means that we are stable. And if our roots go on the earth, deep into the earth, then our tree can bear more fruit. And what is fruit? Well, fruit is abundance, isn't it? So the more we can anchor into the earth, the more abundance we can reap from all around us. And this is really what we're going to be getting into. So when we look at earth connection, someone said, my wonderful marriage with Mark and dear friends. Oh, beautiful. So when we look at this earth connection, it really begins with a spiritual awareness of our place in this beautiful tapestry of existence. So one of the first things that we need to do for this earth connection for infinite abundance is grounding techniques. So walking barefoot on the earth, practicing mindfulness out in nature, allowing ourselves to attune to the earth's energy. And we're going to be looking at these techniques in more detail. and really connecting, fostering a connection. Because when we foster this connection with the earth, what happens is we receive a sense of tranquility, of spiritual abundance, and that spiritual abundance moves into physical abundance because we move through the layers of existence. So spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, we have to move through all of these layers, and when we do, we can really tap into that deeper abundance on a physical level, because ultimately our lives, our physical lives, are a representation of the internal life, where we're at internally. So when we work on ourselves, when we go on these journeys of discovery with the self, what happens is that in that process, our outer life starts to change. So I don't know if any of you've done this. You've been working on yourself, you've been doing meditation, or maybe getting out in nature more. And then suddenly you see areas in your life, in your house maybe, that are cluttered, and you start clearing. And suddenly your house changes because you are changing inside. Has anyone done that before? Yeah. Or you start to do a spring clean inside your body, you're detoxifying the toxins out, and suddenly you want to rearrange everything around you because your external environment is no longer matching in alignment with your internal. And there's a very interesting aspect to this that happens with business as well, and work. And I found this in many different stages of my business, is that when you change your vibration, when you start to do that work, and hopefully we're all doing that work all the time, because we never can do it once and go, you know what, I've done it once, I'm done. I'm spiritually enlightened now. I can sit back and watch Netflix. It's an ongoing process. It's like the gut. People have come to me many times and said, oh yeah, I took probiotics 5 years ago, so it's fine. So, well, actually, the gut is a continuing journey that needs to be kept in balance. It's not something we do once. And this is the same with our abundance and our earth connection. It's not something we just do once and go, well, I grounded last year, so it's fine. I've got this grounding thing down. It's a constant journey. And what I was just saying before was that as we evolve and grow, what happens if you have your own business is that hopefully your business and your clients are either growing with you or they'll be falling away. And so often people come into this bit of flux where they're changing and they're growing, but what they're putting out there to other people, be it through social media, whatever it is not changing with them. So then there is this disconnect, and people can feel that disconnect because the message you're giving to the world is not in alignment with who you are anymore, because you've grown. Does that make sense to people? And so sometimes, let's say you are in business and you have an offer, you don't need to change the whole offer, but you change the energy input. It's like the voltage has ramped up, but you're still running an old volt battery. You need to change the voltage to that message that you're putting out there. So this is really, really important when we look at our abundance, because people may not be aware of it, but they're very, very sensitive to energy. So people can feel on all levels when there is a disconnect. They can feel when something doesn't feel quite right. Have you ever had that when you've tuned into someone or someone's putting out a message, you're like, oh, that feels weird? Has anyone had that? Because it's not them, or it's not them anymore. It's an outdated version. But so often people get stuck, and same with friendships, we get stuck, or food. Oh, well, I've always talked to that person, or I've always eaten that food and it's always fine, so I'm going to stick to doing that. But actually that's not any serving you anymore. So having this deeper awareness and this deeper remembrance of who we are is so important. So when we're looking at this earth connection, first step is grounding. First step is really anchoring into that spiritual journey. The second step when we look at this is the indigenous wisdom. So examining the wisdom of the indigenous cultures, because when we start to look at them, what we see is all of them have this beautiful, harmonious coexistence with nature. And what they do is they acknowledge the earth as this beautiful, sacred entity. And if we can start to mirror some of these indigenous techniques, indigenous practices, this indigenous wisdom, this is where we come from. But most of the time, what's happened in society is we think we're too good for it. So we may not personally, but society as a whole has moved away from those things, just like growing your own food. Now it's obviously coming back into trend, making your own food, growing your own food. All of this was looked down at as we evolved as something that only the peasants did. It's only what the lower class do. We don't do this. We buy our food, processed ready-made meals. And this is what happened in the 70s and 80s. It was a huge uh, a huge movement to disconnect. It was the people that had money thought that if they bought this food or they bought clothes that were already made, it showed their wealth, it showed their status. So it was very cleverly engineered to disconnect people from their true source of power. So we need to look back at this indigenous wisdom of how we can connect more deeply with the earth. We need to look at sustainable living practices. If we want to tap into this infinite abundance, what we need to do is look at things like permaculture. We need to look at regenerative agriculture. We need to align ourselves with living in harmony with the planet. We need to align ourselves with looking at the natural cycles. How can we work with the natural cycles? Now, we're coming into a phase right now where the natural cycle, in fact, I'm going to ask you guys, without knowing, or some of you may know, what the natural cycles are doing right now, what is your body telling you to do at the moment? What do you feel the need to move into right now? If you type it in the chat. Now, obviously, someone here is in Australia, so your natural cycle might be slightly different to ours because you're in a flip of where we are, but that's okay. Sleep and rest more. That's what one of them is. Store food and wrap up. Isolate and rest. Rest and reflect. Fresh food and exercise. Yeah, so Fiona is coming into you're coming into the summer solstice because we're coming into the winter solstice. So you're in that fresh food and exercise and more life and vibrancy. Exactly. Hot, dry, hot summer day today. We're in the cold of the winter. So the solstices are this point. Sol means it's when the solstice is when the sun is still. Now, in the UK and the Northern Hemisphere, we've got the shortest day and the longest night coming up. And this is a time when the light externally is very low. And what this is a call for is for our light internally to be nourished. Christmas time, we put up lights for a reason, because it was linked to the old pagan festivals, and the pagan festivals, what they would celebrate at this time of year was the lights would come up to remind us that even though it's dark out, there is light within, and to hold and foster that light within until the light returns. So it was a reminder that the light will always come back. How beautiful is that? And when the lights went on where we live, I really felt that in the dark around me. There were these beacons of beautiful, colourful lights. And I really felt that reminder deep in my body. And in the olden times, in the pagan times, the Druid times, what they would do is they would keep the lights up until February. The lights would stay up to hold that, because February 1st, you've got Imbolc, which is the return of the light. It's the beginning of that waking up again. It's the earth slowly doing this beautiful shifting of like, oh, it's time to wake up. So over this side, the Northern Hemisphere, the call is to plant the seeds that will bring the abundance in the spring when the light returns. Those seeds that will be nourished by the internal light. So it's a time to think about what nourishes me from within. Because when we look at this infinite abundance, one of the things we have to do is we have to look to nourishing our souls, nourishing our beings. Because when we feel nourished and full, what we do is we open up to accept abundance. There is a huge thing with abundance, that it is linked to self-worth. You don't feel worthy, it's very hard to receive. Or you may receive, how many of you have had this, you receive, you're like, I'm going to manifest this money, I'm going to manifest this abundance, I'm going to manifest whatever it is, and it comes in, and suddenly you get a parking ticket, or your car breaks down, or you get an unexpected bill, or the boiler breaks, or whatever it is. So you've pulled in the money, but then it's come into your system, because money is energy, it's flowed into you, and then your body's like, I can't hold this, I can't hold it because I'm not worth it. And so it goes. I'm not saying that we should hold on and lock onto things either, because that's like this, and we don't want that. As I said in the beginning, we want that open hand. So there is a flow, and there's meant to be a flow, but there's not meant to be a flow too much. We're meant to be able to have the ability to hold that energy of abundance within our being, and also to then anchor it into the earth. Am I making sense to everyone? Great. So one of the things when we're looking at this earth connection for infinite abundance is looking at, what is nature telling me? How can I live my life more in sync with what nature is telling me? How can I find things that will nourish me and bring that joy and that gratitude in? Because the more we're in that state of joy and gratitude, the more we will pull in that abundance in all areas. The more we'll pull in more friendship, the more we'll pull in more work, the more we'll pull in more joy. So I'm going to ask you now just to take a moment to think and type in the chat, what brings you joy? What makes you so happy? That childlike excitement and enthusiasm. What makes you go, and light up in your being? Tell you what, the other day I started karate in September, because my middle son is doing karate, and he was moving up to the senior class so adults can go. So I made a joke in the summer. I said, oh, I could do it with you. And he said, oh, yes, Mum, that would be amazing. And he told Sensei, he's like, Mum's going to start karate. And I was like, oh my God, what have I let myself in for? So I started. I thought, well, I'll just give it a month. I'll give it a try and we'll see what happens. And Monday, I did my first grading, and I am now a red belt. And when I did the grading, I was really nervous. And I did a competition a few weeks ago as well, and got bronze and silver medals in it as well. So when I went up to receive that reward, that medal, the belt, when they called me up, I felt like this such joy, such childlike joy at this accomplishment. I was so ecstatically happy. I was literally that, when you've got that grin that's glued on and you're like, oh, my mouth is actually, my jaws are hurting because I'm grinning so much. And it stayed with me. It's still with me. Thinking about it, it makes my eyes well up, because it's something totally out of my comfort zone. It's something I had no real interest in. I'm not into fighting at all, but it's not about that. It's about that beautiful exchange and doing something new and moving my body in a different way and interacting with new people and just stepping into something new that actually brings so much joy. So that's one of my things. So we've got in the chat, birds of prey. Ooh, is that holding birds of prey or just watching them? Or tell me more on that one. Comedy, sunshine. Oh, where's it gone? Laughter, singing, my family and friends, music. Someone said congratulations, thank you. My daughter, the seaside, and when I play my singing bowls, beautiful. Yeah, the sea is so magical, isn't it? And singing is another one that I find so incredible. Love creating art and gardening. Yeah, gardening is brilliant. All such beautiful things. Someone said, are you now an Earth Mother Ninja? I love that. Maybe I should add that to my my list of titles. Earth Mother Ninja. I like it. Yeah. Hiya. I was working, I'm always working on myself, as we're all always working on ourselves, hopefully. And what I realized is that as I step into right now the work I'm doing, I'm really opening my heart more and more, opening to that compassion and that love, beyond anything. That's the work I'm really working on. And what I realized is that in that work of opening into that vulnerability more and more, there's also a power that comes with that, and that karate is giving me that oomph instead of it being like a too soft. It's got that like kick-ass edge to it in a loving, compassionate way. So I said animals and flowers I love too, also my cats, and any cat I meet, beautiful. So, birds of prey, they are so majestic and their flight is so graceful and peaceful, but to kill, to eat, a double character. Yeah. I mean, what birds of prey are magnificent. And one of the things I love is when you see them as you're driving or you see them out, and it's quite a magical sign. And this is something that I think is so important for our abundance as well, and our earth connection, is that we start looking at the signs that are all around us. What is being presented to us by nature? What cues? And some of you heard my story, my initiation I had a few weeks ago when I was doing the Plant Wisdom Mentorship, where I was greeted by the owl and then the hare and then the deer as I was driving. Within a minute, these three beautiful, majestic animals, creatures, all came to me to really initiate me in the next level of my being, which is really as an earth wisdom keeper, and to pass that on to others so that we can all remember that we're earth wisdom keepers. And that's part of what this is about. When we're an earth wisdom keeper, when you align into your truth, your true nature, then you become an earth wisdom keeper because you remember that truth that the earth is communicating. And I think birds of prey are a big part of those messages. The ancients would always look to the skies. What are the birds telling us? What is the sky telling us? And we've forgotten that. We look to our phones now. We look to Google or Alexa or whatever it is to find those signs, as opposed to looking into the true oracle of life. So when we're looking at this earth connection, nature really has a profound effect on our mental and our emotional well-being. And if we're in a good state, we're going to be bringing in this abundance more. When we're in a state of stress and anxiety and depression, how can we have it be abundant? It's really hard because they're two contra they're opposites from each other. So we're not going to be in that state of abundance if we're locked into fear, stress, anxiety. And most of you said in the beginning, lack, fear, that was what abundance wasn't. And so the anxiety and the stress, all of that comes with that. Now, sometimes obviously we feel that, and that's okay, but we have to have these tools to get us out of it. So when we look at really cultivating this abundance, what it's also doing is it's fostering a resilience and this positive outlook on life, which is so important. So when we start to really look at what I'm talking about, the first thing we have to really look at, other than this grounding, is the energetic blueprint of the earth. So what does that mean, the energetic blueprint of the earth? Well, what it means is we have to start exploring the energetic patterns of the earth and how they influence our life. So we have to start looking at this interconnectedness of all living beings. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a little meditation. We're going to have a couple of meditations. We're going to have another one at the end, but we're just going to do a little meditation now to really start to tune into what this interconnectedness means, what studying and understanding the energy patterns of the earth mean to all of us. So if you all want to get comfortable, then we shall begin. So I want you just to take a moment to breathe into your body. And I invite you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just concentrating on taking a deep, conscious breath. Focusing on inhaling the essence of the earth. And as you exhale, feel yourself releasing any tension. Inhaling the essence of the earth up into your being. And exhaling any tension. I invite you to picture the earth suspended in a vast cosmos, a beautiful living entity that's pulsating with energy. This pulsating, this heartbeat of the earth is often referred to as the Schumann resonance. And this is a foundational rhythm that resonates through every particle in our being. So just taking a moment to feel the pulsating of the earth. And as the earth pulsates with its heartbeat, so you feel your heartbeat pulsating with the earth's heartbeat. And as you feel that syncing up of the heartbeat of yours and the earth's, I invite you to take a journey now into the earth, into the music of the earth, the vibrational symphony that the earth has to offer us. I invite you to hear the hum of the ocean, the rustle of the leaves, the crackle of a thunderstorm. And each sound is a note in a grand cosmic composition. And as we attune ourselves to these frequencies, to these sounds, to this beautiful symphony that Mother Earth is sharing with us, as we add our note into this symphony, so we align with the energetic currents that permeate the planet. And when we can take a moment like we are now to tune into this beautiful harmony all around us, it can serve as a guiding force when we feel disconnected. And then from the heartbeat into the sound, we move now deep into the earth. And I invite you to visualize, to see the beautiful, intricate web of energy that connects every living being. On a physical level, there is the mycelium network under the ground, a beautiful white filament that covers everything on this planet, that interacts with every living tree and plant and animal. This is the mushrooms communicating with everything, and we are part of the mycelium network. So for a moment, allowing your consciousness, your awareness to expand into the mycelium network. And not only is there the mycelium network, but within the earth, there is also the threads of light, the energetic currents of the planet, the earth's magnetic lines, these beautiful lays, the water lines, all of the beautiful energetics that comprise this planet, which interact and link again the flora and fauna and humanity. So feeling into this interconnectedness on a physical and an energetic level. And becoming aware that the energy that courses through the earth's veins is the same energy that courses through ours, creating an unbroken bond between us and the earth. And as you have this beautiful awareness of the energy, the intricacies of interconnectedness, so it is also like a beautiful dance, a celestial ballet, where every living entity moves in perfect harmony with the earth's energy. From the mightiest redwood to the tiniest insect, all are dancing together. So taking a moment to see yourself dancing in perfect harmony with all of life. Seeing your actions sending ripples through the intricate tapestry of existence. And then bringing in the beautiful elements, connecting into the north and the earth, that strength and stability that the earth gives us, the rocks and the trees and the crystals, the grass, feeling that stability of the earth. Connecting into the east and the air, the beautiful breath that we breathe, that beautiful breath that supports all of our life, that is the breath of life, that air quality that allows the birds to soar, that allows us to soar freely too. Connecting into the south and the fire, that energy of transformation. Connecting into the west and the water, the cleansing energy of the water, the hydration the water gives us, the beautiful movement of the water. And connecting into the ether, that intuition, that cosmic force. All of these are building blocks, the beautiful energetic blueprint of life. And each element contributes to a unique essence, a vital force in the symphony of life. And when we can tune into these elements and work with them, we create an alchemical balance within ourselves. We harmonize ourselves to the earth. So taking a moment to feel the abundance of the elements, your connection to the elements, feeling the abundance in the beautiful dance of life, feeling the abundance in the interconnectedness of all living things, feeling the abundance in the symphony of the earth, and feeling abundance in the heartbeat of the earth. And in this beautiful space of connection, I invite you to call in Mother Earth, calling in the energy of Mother Earth into your being, into your energy field, and asking Mother Earth how you can align more deeply with her for your infinite abundance. What steps do you need to take with the guidance of Mother Earth to step into your infinite abundance, to step into your true power, your true sovereign power? And as Mother Earth gives you the guidance you need, so she places a beautiful crown upon your head. And as she does, she kisses your forehead. And she tells you, you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are a divine being of the earth. You are loved so deeply, and you are worthy of all of the abundance of the earth. So feeling those words moving through you. As you take a moment to share your gratitude with Mother Earth for bringing you to this point in life. And as you feel that gratitude, so you notice a beautiful golden light emanating from the core of the earth, from the core of Mother Earth, standing in front of you. And this beautiful golden light that's emanating from the earth, it moves through everything. This pulsating, vibrant golden light starts to move up through your roots, through the earth, into your feet, filling your entire body with the warmth and vitality, with the abundance, this beautiful golden energy moving through your whole system. Feeling every cell activating into abundance with this golden light filling your being. Feeling all of you. And as all of you is filled, so you radiate out abundance to all who come in contact with you. All your friends, all your family, all your loved ones, all your pets, all the animals and plants around you. You see this golden energy, this golden light embracing everything. And slowly you bring your awareness back into your physical body, into this moment now, into your breath. Breathing deeply into your body. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and taking a moment to write down anything that came to you. If you want to write in the chat anything that came to you, any of your experiences, please feel free to. Someone said, thank you, that was beautiful. I'm pleased you enjoyed that. If anyone would like to share their experiences in the chat, what they got from that, if they had any messages from Mother Earth, if they were able to experience the gold energy, how it felt. It was, someone said it was very beautiful. Oh, hang on, it's moved up too quickly. Where was I? It was very beautiful. I feel very connected in. Beautiful. Someone said lovely, teary love. Beautiful. They are so oh no, that was the other message. Thank you, Juliette, for such a beautiful experience. Gaia kissed my forehead with those wonderful words of empowerment, and many tears fell from my eyes. Beautiful. Yeah, I felt them as, you know, I don't know what I'm saying when I'm doing these meditations. I don't plan them. I have an idea, but I don't plan them. And I felt that. I felt Mother Earth standing there. It's making my eyes fill up. And I felt her kissing everyone. And I felt those words really, it was profound for me as well, the experience. um, it was a beautiful gift, I think, that Mother Earth really gave us at the end there. I really felt that. And this is what it's about. If you want infinite abundance, if you want to connect into that energy, all you have to do is connect into the earth. And hopefully you are all able to experience at some point. I tried to give different parts so that, some people will resonate more with one part than the other. Some people are more visual, so they'll or more dancey or more hearing. So everyone hopefully was able to get a section or all of it where they were like, oh, I can really feel the earth singing there, or I can really feel the earth dancing, or I can really feel the elements, so that you can find that element for you. Because this is just me doing it, so it's about finding what works for you to connect you into this energy. But ultimately, hopefully everyone was able to experience that energy of connection. Was everyone able to experience that energy of connection? Yeah, good. Because it's in that space, it's in that connection that we can really, oh, I get it. I get what infinite abundance is. Mother Earth just gave it to me. When we hear those words, someone said, I really needed to hear those words of love. Thank you. My pleasure. It wasn't me. It was beautiful Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Earth. But when we can tap into that, whether it's from someone guiding us in a meditation, and this will be up so you can listen to this meditation again, or whether it's you just sitting by a tree, whatever it is that gets you to that spot of alignment. Because when we align, that's when everything will flow. When we're not aligned, nothing's going to flow. It's the same with our spine. So our energy moves up through our spine, and when our spine is all hunched over, the energy can't flow properly. So abundance is not going to flow properly. Our love is not going to flow properly. Our whole being is not going to flow properly. In yoga, this is one of the core things. There are two channels, the Ida and the Pingali, which move up the Sushumna line, which is in the middle. And what they say is you have to balance these two lines to activate the central core, which is then like enlightenment. It's like, but it's also when we're in the flow, that central channel gets activated. And that's when we step into that flow state. Has anyone heard that term or been in it, when you're so in something that you forget all time and space and everything? You're just in it, and everything just happens as it's meant to. It all just slots into place because you're in the flow. You're in sync with the earth. You're in sync with your soul. And this is such an important aspect, to be in sync with our soul. One of the words that came to me 2 weeks ago when I was running the plant wisdom masterclass, and if you haven't seen that, it is up on my YouTube, so do go and have a look at those sessions. I had some really great feedback from that. But when I was having the drive before doing that, and I had this initiation, the word soul alchemy came to me. That's what I do. It's this soul alchemy. And ultimately, when we can align with our soul, when we can enter into this alchemical process with the earth and with ourselves, and we activate through the earth's power and through our own alignment with ourselves, that's when the magic happens. How many of you have experienced that magic when you hit that alignment? Have you all experienced? Has anyone not experienced that? Okay, so it seems everyone has experienced that. So that is good. So that's what we want to be in as much as we can. And society, life is designed to take us out of that. Because then we're not in our power, and that's what they don't want. The powers that be do not want hundreds of millions, I don't know how many people are on this planet, people all aligned and in their power. Jesus Christ, there'd be no governments. We wouldn't need them. The systems would collapse, the systems of control. Someone said, when I feel I need grounding, I love tree hugging. Yeah, tree hugging is so important. Such an incredible thing when we can hug a tree and step into that. We don't need them. No, we don't need them. We with the earth. That's it. That's all we need. We are super powerful. I said I don't watch the news. I can't stand the fear mongering. I haven't watched the news in a very long time, nor do I ever want to ever again, because it's all BS. The British Bullshit Corporation, I think it's called, isn't it? Um, or whatever it is around the world, because they're all just as bad as each other. But when we're tuned into the vibration of the earth, all of that is totally irrelevant anyway. You know, it's like when COVID was happening and the world was stopping and it was all doom and gloom. I looked outside and the sun was shining, the birds were singing, the flowers were coming up, and it's like the earth is carrying on. Everything is normal in the earth, and I'm going to carry on as the earth carries on because I'm part of the earth. So I follow the earth, and the earth will guide me. So one of the things that is a really useful thing to do on this, to bring this in more, so we can really step into this abundance, this abundant flow in life, is to create a sacred space within your home. Create a sacred space that is a symbol of abundance to you. So you may want to place on your altar pictures that represent your aspirations and goals, and maybe things that remind you of that deep connection with the earth. So maybe a picture of a beautiful tree, or things that remind you of that feeling of abundance. So whatever that may be, you create a beautiful space, an altar, which is about your abundance and your earth connection. So I'd like you to take a moment to think about, what would you put on your altar? Type it in the chat. What would you put on your altar? If you had a beautiful altar, and this is a really good first step, because we can't always get it. We might not have the space. We might not have the things we want for it straight away. But the first thing you can do is create the altar here, because then you can visit it anytime you want. So you create the altar in your being, and then you can physically create it. Because remember what we said, you have to energetically create something first for it to become a physical manifestation. With all my work I do, whenever I'm running any course, whenever I'm running anything like this, the first thing I do is I create a vessel. It's a bit like a boat. I'm not sure why it's a boat, but it's always a boat, that boat shape. I create this beautiful space where I invite people who are meant to be there to come into the energy and sit in the energy. And so every day then, whenever I'm doing anything, once I make the decision I'm doing it, I sit and I focus on the energy in this space, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, what the end intention is that I want people to go away feeling. And that's the main part of my work. What I say is kind of irrelevant, because the work's already happened. It's creating that space that people can come into and feel safe in. So creating that altar in your being, first of all, will create it physically. So what do you want in your altar? Someone says, poetry which has an abundance of words. I can use any words I like and make words up. It's open and abundant. Beautiful. So in your altar, would you have some poetry up in your altar? Would you write some poetry? Yeah, nice. Beautiful. I heard a really, let me find it actually, really beautiful poem on the weekend. I was speaking at an event, and there was this incredible woman there. I don't know how old she is. She's old. She is a powerhouse. Her name's Chloe Goodchild. Amazing woman. Anyway, she read this poem. I'm going to read it to you now. It's called Breaking the Surface, and it's by someone called Mark Nepo. If you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen it, because I posted it up there today. So it says, let no one keep you from your journey. No rabbi or priest, no mother who no mother who wants you to dig for treasures she misplaced. No father who won't let one life be enough. No lover who measures their worth by what you might give up. No voice that tells you in the night it can't be done. Let nothing dissuade you from seeing what you see, or feeling the wind that makes you want to dance alone, or go where no one has yet gone. You are the only explorer, your heart the unreadable compass, your soul the shore of a promise too great to be ignored. Where have you guys gone? Beautiful poem, isn't it? Wow, that made me emotional, someone said. That's deep. Yeah, it is deep, isn't it? It's a beautiful one. Someone said, I have a beautiful altar in my art room. It has the enlightened Buddha, a huge amethyst crystal, a huge amethyst crystal of all types, and lots of gifts of thanks from past clients when I was a therapist. Beautiful. In your altar, what is your intention with it? Because this is what's really important. So what we need to do is create an abundance altar to tune us into the infinite abundance that is all around. And that abundance isn't just financial, as I said, it's about all abundance, but it has to have the intention. Whenever you do anything, and that altar sounds beautiful, and this is not knocking your altar in any way, but this is a really important key for us all. Whenever we do anything, it's the intention behind it that is the most important thing. So, for example, when I created this vessel for this masterclass, the intention was for really to guide people to have an experience where they tapped into that infinite abundance. So that was the intention. So everything that follows that is linked to that intention. So if I set up an altar, but I don't have an intention, I'm just like putting beautiful things on and creating a sacred space, well, that's brilliant. But we can take it even deeper by having that pure intention in there. I hope that makes sense. So someone said, I have a crystal grid and all the elements are represented around it. My vision board is under it, also my triple goddess statue. The grid is rose quartz and citrine, and its intention is for abundance, for everything to flow. Beautiful. Beautiful. So if we can take that time to create the altar, then it's a visual representation. So recently I've been working with Kuan Yin a lot, and I've been energetically tuning in. Kuan Yin is all about compassion. And as I said, I've been working on really cracking through all of those walls in my heart to, my heart's pretty open, but I want my heart to be really open in its fullest expression of love and compassion. And so I've been working with Kuan Yin, and it really came to me the other day, I need to see Kuan Yin. I need to get a statue so that I can look at Kuan Yin. So even if I'm not consciously meditating and working on it, Kuan Yin is always there to inform my subconscious so that that process is always happening. So same with the abundance altar. If we can see an abundance altar, in my office, there's the abundance corner, and I like buying gold and silver coins, because for me, I think it's really important we diversify money as well, not just have it in the bank in a financial system that is going to collapse. So I have some crypto, I have some gold and silver. I have seeds. Seeds are a massive part of my wealth collection, stocking up on seeds of plants. So we can have these different aspects of it. And when you look at feng shui, it's a really important thing. There's a chart of every room and of your house as a whole. And so there is an aspect of the house and of rooms that is about your abundance. And so if you place something in that corner, so for example, in your wealth corner, if you place a money tree, for example, or you place something gold or silver, or you place, a picture of an apple tree abundant in apples, do you get the kind of gist? Then you're bringing that energy in because it's working on the energetics, but also you're seeing it, so it's a visual representation. Someone said, my intention for the altar is to bring high energy and light into my room and home. Beautiful. Kuan Yin is looking at me now. As you know, I have painted her. Beautiful. That's amazing that she's looking at you right now. So funny, isn't it, when an energy comes into your being? Like until recently, I knew who Kuan Yin was, but I had no real relationship with Kuan Yin. And suddenly I do, and so many people have such a profound relationship with her at the moment. It's amazing how this works. So to finish, and then I'm going to open up if anyone has any questions. Really, for this earth connection, I could talk about this for a long time, but I've tried to keep it somewhat condensed and summarized, because otherwise I'll just go on and on and on. But really, it's about grounding yourself. It's about finding ways to feel that connection with the earth. It's about finding ways to connect into the abundance that is all around us. So having those visual representations around you, it's about tuning into the elements. It's really about seeing yourself as part of this earth and not a separate being, and finding the way that links you into that. And it's also about a mindset thing. It's about knowing that if the earth is infinitely abundant, I am part of the earth, so therefore I am infinitely abundant. And it's about breaking down these things of, oh, well, there's not enough. We've been programmed with this not enough. There's not enough food in the supermarkets. There's not enough toilet roll in the supermarkets. You know, whatever it is, there's not enough. But there's more than enough. And so it's changing our mindset to know that even if there are a million people doing the same thing as you, there's still enough for everyone. So that we get out of this scarcity mode and we step into our power. And when we step into our power and we really align with that, and knowing, it's what we have to get into. It's a knowing of a deep trust. It's this letting go. When I was thinking about this today and I tuned into what I really wanted to say as well, what came through is trust and let go. And so many times in my life, I've had to do that. I was a single mother to my oldest boy, who's nearly 19, for 5.5 years. And I was working 4 jobs. It was hard. I didn't know how I was going to pay the mortgage. Each time the month came to that point, it was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And every time I just dropped into a space of trust, I said, I know it will be all right. It will be fine. I can do this. I've got this. Mother Earth has got me. And every time, boom, at the last minute, something would come in to sort it all out and it was all fine. And so what I started to do was I got to a point and I went, why does it have to be at the last minute? Why do I have to wait till the last second? Why have I programmed this into my head that it will all be fine and I can trust, but it's only in the last minutes, at the 11th hour, that the rescue mission happens? It's like, no, I'm going to change that. It's not at the 11th hour anymore. I'm infinitely abundant and I step into that and it's all good. The earth has got my back. And there's so many times I've had to remind myself and bring myself back to that the earth has got my back. And as soon as I drop into that surrender, it's like, what was I worried about? It's all fine. It's all great. But we have to get into that space of surrender and trust. And that's one of the hardest things, I think, for us, is that trust, isn't it? Deeply, deeply to let go and trust. And to know that no matter what happens, we are held and we are safe. And I really believe that in the core of my being. I forget sometimes, but I remind myself. But I know it. Exactly, especially if health is involved. Someone said, health can be such a hard thing. When something goes wrong, it's like, oh my God, and we feel like the world is caving in on us. But there's always an answer. There is always an answer. And, my mum had MS when I was a child. She got it when I was 8. And she wrote a book. And she got to the last chapter, and the last chapter was going to be how she healed herself. And the book was all about her journey of healing. And she died. And I was very angry because I thought, well, she thought she was going to heal herself, but she didn't. So this book's what was the point of it? She did heal herself on a different level, but her journey was not to carry on physically here on this earth. Her journey was her journey. And her journey inspired my life and inspired all the work I do. And I know it's going to make me cry, but I know she's there with me so that I can help people, so I can be there to support people, to guide them into the earth, so they've got that support to get through things. And for me, one of the most beautiful things is how many people I've helped and supported who have multiple sclerosis, who I've helped get into remission so they don't have to go through the hell that my mum went through. But what she did as part of her life journey. And that is such a beautiful thing, that she sacrificed what she did for her soul's purpose. And none of us know what our souls, well, we do know what our souls, but none of us know what necessarily that's going to look like when we sign up to it before we come into this planet. But, you know, I truly believe that everything has a gift. Everything, every hardship has a gift. It's finding it. And that is infinite abundance when we find those gifts, even in the darkest moments. You know, and I've been through a lot of dark moments and I found the gift in every one of them. So I'm not here saying this from a person who's just lived a really easy life. It's not been easy, but I still find the gold every time. Sometimes screaming and crying into the earth, and then the earth goes, here you go. I'm like, oh, thanks. So I'm going to open up to some questions for a few minutes. If anyone has any, if you want to unmute yourself, then please feel free. Anyone have any questions?
I have to say, Juliette, I think you're an amazing woman, and I'm so proud to know you. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're just amazing. An amazing woman. You really are.
Thank you. That's very, very, very kind of
You
you.
are. I believe that. Very first time I met you, I thought that. And the more I get to know you, the more I know I'm right. Usually I'm a very good judge of character. And again, I'm right again with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Got me crying there. Oh, thank you. Any questions?
It's nice to hear kind words, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a beautiful thing. It is. It's nice to know that, you know, we're on the right track in our lives, and we're, you know, my aim is I want to help and I want to serve the planet and everyone on it, be it the trees or the earth or the
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
Someone said, for the short time I've known you, I thank you for your earth wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Oh, someone did ask a question.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
write the name of the poem you read? Yes. So the poem, where is the poem? So the poem is called Breaking Surface, and it's by Mark Nepo. Mark, and then Nepo is Nepo, Breaking Surface. If you're on my Facebook, then I've shared it on there, or my Instagram. And if you're not, if you want to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or Telegram, then please do. I would like to, as we finish, just tell people about I know some of you know about my Plant Wisdom Mentorship, which starts in a few weeks. And I'm really excited about it. What I did recently was, I know that some people are really struggling. Some people aren't, and that's great, but some people really are. So what I wanted to share with you guys is that I've changed my mentorship into a sliding scale, because I think that's much fairer, so that the full price of the year-long Plant Wisdom Mentorship, which starts in January, is £3,000. But if people can't afford that, there is a sliding scale of what you can afford over the year. So
refrigerant handling license.
if you want to, whatever it is that you want to do, if you feel called to it, that is. If you don't feel called to it, that's absolutely fine. I am totally open to that, because I want this to be accessible to everyone, so that everyone can be part of it who wants to be. So what happens on the Plant Wisdom Mentorship is the second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. in the UK. We meet online on Zoom like this, and we have a session which will be going into plant wisdom, how we can work with it, how we can develop healing tools and techniques, how we can really dive into our connection with the earth and with ourselves, and how we can work with the seasons, how we can really understand how to make our own medicines, how we can start listening and tuning into what the plants and the earth is really saying to us. So there's going to be a support group so we can all interact and share together. Each month you're going to get beautiful handouts. Hang on, if I can show you. Why is it not letting me do that? Okay. Oh, there it is. let me show you these things. I love them. They're so pretty. I've had someone make these beautiful things for me. So here we go. So for example, January is rosemary. So it goes through the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual properties of rosemary. There's a video all about rosemary, and then how best to work with rosemary. And then you also get, where is it? This lovely thing that I got him to make me. Lovely guy, Kev, who does my design work. And is that really small for you guys, or is it big? Oh, it's big. Big? Can you see that?
Yeah, yes, see it now.
Okay, so this is what you will get as well to fill out for each plant each month, this beautiful identification sheet so that you can write and create your own materia medica about the plants that we're going to go through. I love all these little flowery bits. I think they're so pretty. So that you can really start to create your own working relationship with the different plants and trees that we're looking at. So that is really exciting. And create basically a book that's going to take you on this journey so that you can really embrace plants. So if you are interested, get in touch with me and we can have a chat about what you can afford. If you can afford the full thing, that's great, because it supports the people that can't afford the full thing. And then it all is a beautiful, supportive ecosystem. So yeah, if you are interested, then message me and we can have a chat and go into that more. But I wish you all a really beautiful solstice. I hope that you connect in with your beautiful inner light. The solstice this year is actually on the 22nd of December in the UK, and it will be the 22nd of December, the summer solstice over in the southern hemisphere. So really connect in, take that time. You know, Christmas is a time where we're out a lot and we're busy and we're going totally against what nature is telling us to do, except for in Australia. If you're having Christmas in Australia, you're sorted because it's the right energy, it matches the busyness. But if you're not, then take the 22nd to be still, to go into yourself and have that quiet time that you can really reflect and come into your light, and think about how you can foster that over the winter. What can you do to really foster your light, to foster that so that it will grow? What seeds can you plant? The other thing I'm doing on the 2nd of January is I'm going to be running a manifestation workshop. It's going to be £11 and it's on the 2nd at 7:30. So if you would like to come on that, it's not up on my website yet because I just decided today. We're going to be creating vision boards and doing a beautiful manifestation ritual ceremony together to really step into the new year in that beautiful, focused, aligned way. So if you'd like to join that, just send me a message. Lots of love to you all. Have a lovely evening. And yeah, drop me a line if you have any questions. Take care, guys. Thanks for being here. Would have been lonely without you.
Thank you so much. You're so
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.